So here's a little bit about my personal preference. I do not believe when people say, if you like this, then you'll like this, based on how I've rated another book. And so I had heard really favorable reviews about the book that I'm reviewing today, and it sounded like something I might enjoy. And then Goodreads kept showing it up. Like, if since you liked, you know, Sarah J. Maas's books, you'll like this. Since you rated this, you'll like this. And it kept showing up. And I was just like, what? How do you know that? You know, just because the people who liked this doesn't mean that we like books for the same reason. And I just didn't believe it. But for some reason, at some point, I ended up buying The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutkowski because it was there, I guess, and I'd seen it so much that I thought, you know what the heck, I'll buy it and give it a try. I have a chronic book buying problem. That's probably just how that ended up here. And then I put it on my shelf and I left it there. There was no reason I wanted to read it other than the fact that I had been told that I would like it, and then I bought it, but I didn't want to read it. I don't know how this works. I don't know why. Anyways, I finally got around to reading it for Booktubeathon, as you may have known, and then this magical thing happened where I started to read it and I couldn't stop reading it. I read it in one sitting, and then I wanted to abandon Booktubeathon in general just to finish the series. I still haven't, but I'm working on it. I don't have time right now, but I really want to. And I'm amazed that this book contained all of these things that I loved, because of the way that the back of the book sounds. And basically, the back of the book sets up the two main characters, Kestrel and Erin, as star-crossed lovers from different worlds. Kestrel is the daughter of a famous general, so she's a lady, and Erin is a slave, and she buys him at an auction, very apropos of nothing. It's kind of like an accident, and, you know, basically the back of the book is saying, you know, from across these two worlds, these two lovers will find a way to be together, whatever. And that, I think, was my real resistance to this. I did not want to read another Romeo and Juliet with a happy ending. I think that YA is full of those, and I didn't want to read another one. That's not what this book is. Why would you put that there? Because I feel like that is the fastest way to turn off a reader. I don't understand. The Winter's Curse is far more politically minded and strategically minded than I ever would have thought that it would be. I was really shocked, and I mean shocked in a good way, but I was so impressed by this book, and I couldn't stop reading it because I had to know what was going to happen, because Kestrel is not the character that you expect. She is at once fascinated with the piano, but also a very good military strategist. She just thinks about these things in a way that makes sense. But again, loves the piano, doesn't want to go into the army, is willing to get married to someone she doesn't really like in order to avoid the army, because she doesn't have a choice in her society. You have to either do one or the other. And then Erin was a slightly bit more stereotypical, and he's surly and he's moody. It's the thing that happens afterwards, plus the surliness and the moodiness, but I can't really tell you what that is because it's kind of a reveal in the middle of the book. But yeah, he's just built as generic love interest number one, mostly in this book, which, you know, whatever, that's a whole nother topic of the way men are represented in YA books. Whatever. The thing that I liked about this, though, is that even though Erin's kind of predictable, Kestrel isn't. And often that's my struggle with YA books, is that the pretty girl in the pretty dress needs to be saved, she needs to be good, she needs to do all this stuff, and I just... Throughout this book, after some very important things happen that I can't tell you about because it would spoil the plot, Kestrel has the opportunity to make certain decisions and make certain choices, and there's a very cliche lovey-dovey one that she could make, and there's a very strong one that she could make, and she alternates between them in a way that feels very natural. And her and Aaron's romance as well, like, it doesn't start off that way. It starts off as a friendship, and then it builds into something that where they do have feelings for each other, but there are all these external conflicts, and generally in YA romance, these external conflicts are just something to overcome, and they will be together forever even though everything is acting against them. And in this book, the external conflict has an effect. And it has an effect on them, it has an effect on their relationship, it has an effect on their ability to be together. And while there is a potential for a happy ending at the end of this series, the books for the moment are leaving me guessing as to how they'll get there, because they clearly care about each other, but they are willing to make the hard choice. And I've really loved that quality. It kept me guessing, it kept me engaged, as opposed to other YA books where you can just guess the plot from the second they start off. So I was hooked, and I am hooked on this series, and I am hooked by how smart they are politically, strategically. Kestrel's military stratagems are really put to the test in this book, and it's a part of her character as much as her piano playing is, and I loved that. Other characters outside of her, like I said, Aaron on down, are kind of cliche, but I didn't mind because Kestrel was awesome and I love her and I want to read the rest of the series. So definitely check this out if Goodreads is telling you that you like it and you think this review is any good, because I think that you might, because I was really surprised. So there you have it, guys. The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutkowski. Thanks. Bye.